Good morning, Year 2, and this is our English today on Monday the 1st of March. So for your starter, I would like you to get 3 or 4 highlighter pens or coloured pencils, whatever you've got to hand, and I would like you to highlight the nouns, verbs and adjectives in this piece of text. And as a challenge, is there an adverb in this piece of writing? So it says, the little boy ran quickly along the long, narrow street. He was puffing and panting so much. A big black dog had chased him all the way from the park. He was scared of dogs. His mum was going to be really angry with him as he had ripped his t-shirt when he was climbing a large tree. Now, remember, a noun is something that you can take a photograph of. A verb describes something that you're doing, and an adjective is a descriptive word. So on the next slide, there's going to be the answers. So pause the video now and just have a little go at doing that. It's quite tricky, so don't worry if you don't get them all right. Right, how did you go on? It was really hard, this was. Did you highlight them all properly? I've colour-coded mine. And did you spot the adverb quickly? I've done that in purple. So well done if you just got a few of them, because it was a really, really challenging thing to do this morning. So well done. Right, we're going to think a little bit more about the Great Fire of London today. So what we're going to do, we're going to think about how the fire spread, because it raged for quite a few days. So I want you to do some writing, and I want you to put the events of the Great Fire in order. So let's have a look. So the Great Fire of London started in the early hours of Sunday the 2nd of September 1666, and it began on Pudding Lane at a baker's shop. And here is a picture of Pudding Lane today. I've actually walked along this street in London a few times. So this is a map, and it shows you part of London. You can see where Pudding Lane is, and you can see the River Thames, and the Tower of London is right the way over on the right. So that is where it started, in Pudding Lane. So early Sunday morning, the famous Great Fire of London started on Sunday the 2nd of September 1666 in a baker's shop on Pudding Lane. The baker was called Thomas Fariner. Thomas had forgotten to put out a fire he had made to bake some bread. The fire soon began to spread throughout London. The Great Fire had begun. Samuel Pepys started to record the unfolding events in his diary. Sunday evening. Fire services never used to exist, so everyone had to use buckets of water to try and put the fire out. It destroyed many buildings, which were later rebuilt from brick instead of wood. Early Monday morning. Buildings were very close together in London, so the fire spread very quickly, especially with the added help of the wind. People had to carry their belongings to safety using boats on the River Thames. Can you see how close each of the buildings are? There's hardly a gap between lots of them, so it would have just spread. Late Monday morning. Carts were banned from going near the fire because it was so dangerous. Monday evening. The fire had spread very close to the Tower of London, so it had spread all the way across that map that we saw at the beginning really quickly. Tuesday. St. Paul's Cathedral was destroyed in the fire, and St. Paul's Cathedral is a big church in the middle of London. Wednesday. The fire started to burn more slowly as the wind died down. So we've gone from Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Thursday. Because the wind had died down and many houses were pulled down to stop the fire spreading, the fire stopped. Luckily, only 6 people died, but thousands of people were left homeless, lost their business, or lost many of their possessions. So I would like you to write a recount. So you watch the PowerPoint and I want you to write it in order what happened on each day. Try to use your own words and not copy off the PowerPoint. And I've given you some headings to help you. So can you remember what date the Sunday was? So you could carry on writing the date along with the day of the week. So this is a challenge. Why did the fire spread so quickly? Can you look at these different statements and choose the ones that are correct? It had been so hot, not much water was left in the Thames. Is that true? The houses were made of bricks. The houses were made of wood and had straw roofs. It was very windy. Firefighters had hoses and plenty of water to use. Was that true? There was no fire brigade. The houses were very close together. It was raining heavily.